And we're live. Hi everyone, this is amateurgamer, and I'll be returning to Beyond All Reason cast, and now we're moving on to a 4v4 on the Charlie in the Hill. Just gonna introduce the team. This isn't a new map, so at least for my cast videos. So for red, we have Primer. Orange is Ondra. Magenta is Lit Punk. Yellow is Spasmus, and for our bottom team, blue is SS99, teal is All Aces, green is Fanatic Foe, and purple is Cotton Mouth. Alright, just gonna start. Like I said, it's not new, but we have seen what? 2v2, 3v3, and now we have 4v4, so we're gonna see some air. At least I don't think there's any other options other than air for the player who takes the high ground. But, you know, it's... yeah, I don't think you can really pick anything else. I think these are too steep for anything else to traverse properly. So we are going to see... are there going to be raids? Oh, you definitely don't want to lose your constructor bot so early on. That would be really bad. That's really early for... damn, they are really shutting down the enemy from harassing. I am actually... wait, are these... no, these are from purple, right? Yeah, getting shurikens out that early? Damn. So we do see a bit of a skirmish around here. We see some defenses. In terms of how the two sides are divided up, it is pretty standard. Ooh, you don't want your enemy to get this far. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Red is gonna feel that. Yeah, red wasn't ready for that push from blue. That's for sure. They lost a lot. I mean, sure, they still have their vehicle plant, but they had to rebuild so much. I guess in a way, if they do reclaim this, it will help them recover. I mean, to be fair, red did expand very aggressively, and that kind of left them at a not so great position because their line was too spread out and they just couldn't effectively defend against that. Though the orange is helping now, so the top side is trying to control the center region a bit more. So this area is kind of vulnerable. If someone does push through here, it's going to be hard to respond. Already hearing some rockets, so magenta is chipping away at the fences of green, but doesn't look like they're doing much else. Is anyone going for tier 2? It's really early, but I wouldn't put it past. Like, given all the games I've casted, I wouldn't be surprised if someone goes for early tier 2. Now, I'm not saying it's always a good choice. Oh, that Dragon Claw is it's done some damage, but so far Greed doesn't have a really good answer for these aggravators. So red is slowly recovering. And meanwhile, we see some back and forth here, but nothing too serious. Dragon Claw. Meanwhile, artillery are... I'm surprised there are a lot more air units for the top side than the bottom. Where is Teal? I feel like Teal doesn't have much of a presence. Like, if you... Ooh, is there a push here? Maybe. Like, red, orange, and magenta pushed up. Here we just have green. Green's not even really holding this flank. I feel like green's position is really bad. Like, really bad. And right now, orange is trying to take advantage of it. Are they gonna get the commander? Oh, that is close. But yeah, green's defenses are not cutting it, but to be fair, I mean, green is trying to fend off orange and magenta. And that is asking for a lot. And meanwhile... Yeah, what is... Oh, they did go for tier 2. Okay, I see. Go for alligators. I guess... Well, it will work if their opponents don't have such a solid hole in the center. But of course, it doesn't take much. All it takes is just one push, one good push along a location you're not expected. How the heck are they circumventing all of this? Yep, or yellow is doing a good job just shutting down all of these attacks. Green got pushed back, but probably because they just can't sneak past the opponent. So the question is, can Teal make use of their tier 2? I do feel like yellow has dominance in the air. And meanwhile, now orange is pushing all the way against blue. I mean, there wasn't much holding that. And despite having tier 2 structures, yeah, it does feel like the south side had invested way too much into their economy and not enough into their forces. And they are getting ripped apart as a result of that. I mean, yes, Teal did help clean it up, but things aren't looking great. But to be fair, the forces for the top side isn't so massive that the game is already decided, but man, I don't know if these alligators can do enough. So tech 1. They went for tech 2. Building a tech 2 that far forward, they're brave. Wow. Yeah, this is what I meant. Like, they just don't have enough units to change. I mean, yes, they could like hide there, but there just aren't enough of them to have much of an impact. This is where I felt like getting a lot more tier 1s probably would have paid a bigger dividend. So now they're just stuck there. Orange is pushing up. Getting intercepted. Not much is happening there. Oh, it's almost like red anticipated this. But they have rocket launchers. Of course, to be fair, these amphibious tanks are just going to meat grinders, so far I feel like all of Teal's attempts have failed. And yeah, and if their enemies start taking all of that metal, they're gonna be in a pretty good spot. So for the top side, not only do they have really good map control, but they're also responding properly against any enemy attacks. And that's the thing, like once they're... Is paralyzed the proper term? I mean, this push might yield something, I'm not sure. Like, this is what I meant. Like, tier 1 units are doing just... this is also why I was like, wow, I don't know why you would build it so far forward. But Magenta is in a bad spot. But the question is... I mean, they lost most of their production. Because I don't see... I mean, their economy is in the back, but all of their... production was up front, even their tier 2, so this puts them in a pretty bad spot. Now the question is, will green keep pushing to eliminate magenta for good, or are they supporting other fronts? Allowing blue to get this many mousers is really bad. So remember earlier where that said the top side had really good map control? Yes, but they also turtle up to the point where they allowed their opponents to build up forces to essentially dislodge them. And so far it feels like yes, red fended off the attacks. Like teal's attacks were fended off, but it doesn't feel like they're achieving much. Okay, they're getting some bows. They got sumos. Is that the only thing they built before they lost all of their production? Yeah, there's absolutely no reason why green wouldn't try to push all the way through. They have a combat engineer. Do they have a bot? They're building a warden. Yeah, yellow is trying hard to stop any attacks from here. And they might be able to do so, but the thing is, they're spending all their resources on static defenses, which means, I mean, they're also not... I mean, damage is being dealt. Though, to be fair, magenta is kind of... And meanwhile... Man, the top side has been collapsing. At some point, I felt like... Wait, what happened to orange? I guess orange just resigned. But look at this battle. Top side was looking really good. They have map control. They were holding off attacks. But in the end, you don't really win by turtling. That's why I find with Beyond No Reason, like, you can turtle all you want, but if you let your opponents decide all the, like, take the initiative and attack you and find holes in your defenses, then eventually they'll win. And to be honest, it does feel like the top side didn't really attack. Like at one point, green was in a bad spot. Green's defenses crumbled over here. They almost lost their commander. If orange and magenta just made a push and eliminate green, things would be a whole lot different. But somehow they just turtle up and didn't do much else. And this really gave... I mean, this is probably the last ditch effort to try to put an end to all of this. I mean, I'm not sure if attacking something that would destroy most of your bombers was a good idea. But yeah, I feel like the mistake was the top side were in front, had map control. If they just kept pushing, I don't even think they needed tier 2 units. Honestly, if if they stay with tier 1 units and just kept pushing, I think they would have overcome their opponents. Like, as we have seen, yes, tier 2 units are good, but tier 2 units first take longer to produce, second require more resources. If you can use tier 1 units to make favorable exchanges, or just outmaneuver them, right? Like, if your opponent have fewer units, either they're spread out and easily picked off, or they're concentrated, but they can't be covering the entire map. So if you could use certain units, bypass them, destroy the enemy economy, and then it's just a matter of time before you weaken them. So overall, I felt like the top side had the advantage, grew complacent, just be like, oh, everything's gonna be fine. Nope. That was all that was needed for the south side to go from a somewhat unfavorable position to breaking through, getting the edge on the opponent, and then just use that momentum to win the rest of the way. So when you have the advantage, keep pushing, because it's so easy for momentum to go the other way. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you have a good one.